Hello everyone, it's Tonebinder, and as you may have guessed, this is episode 2 of my live series, Creating a Map in Ancient Warfare 3. Today we're going to continue making the medieval RPG map that we started last time, but before we do, I am going to post the link to this live stream in the usual places. That way people can start filling in, and we can start chatting about the process. I mean, from first glance, you can tell that this is already more, there's more done on this map than last time. And we're going to say hop on in the Discord, so hopefully more people can join in and follow the process of map creation. All right, I'm going to say hop on my Discord, and that is all we need to do. Now I'm just going to load up the chat on my phone next to me. The chat widgets have never really been my friend in Ancient Warfare 3 streaming, but I've got everything pulled up now exactly the way it should be on my phone. We've got Jacob here in the stream. First one in. How does it feel, Jacob? Good to have you, man. We have made a ton of progress even since the last stream. This is going to be big, you guys. I think the goal for this stream is going to be to create the Duke's Camp. By the way, can everyone hear me okay? I did a few changes to my audio levels. So last stream started out kind of embarrassingly with my voice kind of blowing out the mic. Is that happening right now? If it is, let me know right away and I can correct it quickly. Secondarily, is the music too quiet? Let me know in the chat. We've got Snuffly Behind, Gamer Wolf, Something Different, Iris. Great crew already joining in the Tonebinder chat room. Hope to see you guys here for the next 2 hours. That's right, I'll be live streaming for the next 2 hours. Gonna close it off at 3 p.m. Eastern because, I'll tell you, I'm moving into a new dorm right now. Yes, my college semester is just about to get underway, so I'm currently coming to you from a half set up dorm room. Hopefully the walls are thick enough that I'm not being disruptive to my neighbors. That's also why I might be talking in a little bit quieter, more leveled off voice for today. Just gonna try to get comfortable with the streaming from the dorm room situation. My mic and music volume sound good. Alright, perfect. So today, folks, we are going to continue working on the RPG map we started last time. I've taken a few more notes. I've got a bit more of a plan. I even have an outline of the map in Paint.net of where I want to put everything. So today's main objective, that could change, but I'm going into the stream with the objective of completing the area of the Duke's Camp. So if you weren't here for the first stream, the goal of this map is for the player to travel from the Duke's Camp into this big old city, which is under the control of medieval university students. And the goal is to bring this city under submission for the Duke, on the Duke's behalf, part of a grander civil war where dukes are battling it out for control of the empire. We are trying to enlist the students onto our side. Alright. I'm your dorm neighbor, and I'll be suing for noise complaints. Thanks, Iris. I appreciate that. I think we can just get started, honestly. A lot of the preamble was kind of gotten out of the way last time. I'm glad there's continued interest in this series. Last stream was honestly one of my favorite streams I've done in a long time. Just purely creatively outputting something in the Ancient Warfare 3 workshop world, and I'm going to continue that today so that we can keep up on a good pace and produce something. Alright, we're going to get started on the Duke's Camp, I think. Today, we don't have a lot of character designs, okay? We're going to be placing a lot of placeholder characters down and using scripts to apply dialogue once we have an actual character design. I feel like you should make a quest where you go and salt the city's fields. Yeah, if we go so right now I think I'm thinking of 3 endings for the campaign, okay? One of them is you successfully persuade the city to join your cause, okay? You convince the student republic to join up with the Duke. The other ending is they do not see reason and you destroy the city completely. And the third ending, which I just came up with today, is you rebel against your father, the Duke, and lead a coup, and you become the new Duke and team up with the city. So, pretty interesting opportunities for some character drama here, kind of thing that hasn't been explored too much in Ancient Warfare 3, kind of character-driven storytelling. Let's get started, though. I'd like to begin work on developing the city today. We have a few characters. Okay. Following my rough plan, let's give it a bird's eye view here. This is going to be like the Duke's camp, the Duke's like building. Then we've got a tent on either side for officers. And then on the other side of the road here, buildings 6 and 7, right here is 6, and right here is 7, are a storeroom and a stable, respectively. Stable is going to be the easiest one. We can simply do one of these. And I think this is how I want the player to have access to horses, so I'm comfortable having it be an occupied stable there. Looking great. Burn the church. Yeah, right, there should be a church in here you can burn. That'll be an excellent reference to Limbo, my survival SMP Minecraft server. By the way, everyone, let me know what you're working on Ancient Warfare 3 right now. The point of this stream is not only to provide a tutorial and template for the map-making process, but it's also to encourage long-time map makers who already know how to make maps to get, tap back into their creativity if they've been on a hiatus. Anyway, there was the stable, and now I think the next easiest thing to do is going to be to place down some officers' tents. We have had a red aesthetic so far. I feel comfortable repeating that, so we're going to have an officer's tent here, and another on the other side. And actually, we have to make sure there's room for the soldiers to patrol around behind it. So we're going to do it like... Oh, this is a destroyed one. Hang on. Medieval tent round... No, we want medieval tent round intact. There we go. And obviously, we are going to have to move the light post. Do something like that. And we also clearly are going to have to do some work on the ground around here, as the grass will simply not do. This is heavily trodden ground in the camp, so we can't have bright green grass there. Clearly it's been stomped on. It's going to be muddy and dusty and all that. Alright, so we've got two officers' tents here. This place is already looking a lot more full, I will say. The Duke does have to have his man cave. Yeah, we're going to work on that. By the way, can you see the chat on your end, people? Wood foundation. Let's outline the Duke's man cave, why don't we? It's gonna be... Actually, the Duke has the least impressive abode. If it's gonna be this big? I mean, it's like slightly bigger. We can make it work. We can make it look cool, I think. Because we'll do wood pillars and have kind of like an outer area here. And then like this is gonna be like the overhang outside. The Duke's kind of like longhouse out here is where he's gonna be based out of. We could even have this be 2 stories tall if we want. I don't know if we're gonna go that route, but here you go. So this is the idea for the Duke's headquarters here. I think this actually should be 2 stories tall. That way we can have a cool sentry looking out over the top. So let's do a wood wall. A small wall. That's the phrasing we want. Hey, Tonebinder, want some neat tents for you to use? Asks Gamerwolf. Absolutely, Gamerwolf. If you've got some non-vanilla tents that would look good in this map, send them my way. Send me a DM on Discord with a workshop link, and I can throw them in. See, that's another reason I like this kind of streaming the entire map-making process, start to finish, because it also kind of democratizes the map-making process and brings everyone into it. When they would normally just be kind of watching me play through something and unable to kind of make an impact on the map. But in this case, Iris has already supplied some troops that will be the Duke's foot soldiers, and they look very cool. I'll show them again. Medieval soldiers for Tom Bin Here they are. Great looking guys. They're going to be the Duke's forces. I am going to have to request people make some more characters today, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's get some roof objects going up here, and we're going to thatch them up, I think. Here they are. Why are they so red? That's just their color scheme. The city will probably have a blue color scheme, just for contrast. That's the Duke's forces will have a red color scheme. For now, I could see all the red banners being swapped out with custom modeled banners. I remember Iris saying that maybe we could get some custom model banners here, but I'll have to ask later. I'm not going to focus on that now. That is a later in the process request for sure. Look at that. It's a bit, obviously a bit rough around the edges, but we're filling up the area, which is what the goal has always been all along. The Duke is so poor that the tents are already destroyed. I'm so locked in, it's taking me a minute to catch up on the chat here. RPG map designed by committee is an interesting concept. Well, let me make something clear, Jazz. The map itself will not overall be designed by committee. I do have the idea, this world is Soul Wars, So it's already kind of an existing world, an existing story. And the main quest is something that I've already designed myself. So the core elements of the RPG are not up for debate, but the fact that the community's touch will be able to be felt in various aspects of the development process is cool and hasn't been done much in Ancient Warfare 3. I think that'll be done a lot more soon, sort of communal map making, once the whole collaborative building update comes out. By the way, if you don't know about that, there is a big update coming soon to Ancient Warfare 3 where you can open a lobby and design maps with other people. Like it'd be somebody else flying around here selecting trees and editing the map while I'm doing it as well, which I just think is a crazy thought. It's gonna add so much. Let's take this out. And by the way, what I'm doing now is designing the Duke's storehouse. Okay, this is where his main supplies, like his weapons and all that stuff, is gonna be. Yeah, today's stream is probably going to be pretty focused on actually building up the map and just getting more material in it, getting more content in it, because we did a lot of the core design last time. Which one is the one I actually want? Okay, this is what I want to be getting rid of. Delete that, delete that, delete that. There we go. All right, cool. The Duke's storehouse has successfully been outlined. This is just looking great already. I think what I want to do is extend the forest out. It looks a little bit weird for it to just end naturally. Is there like a tree background object? There's not. Somebody should do a forest background object, just like the hills, because I want this forest to extend out that way, but there's nothing to make it look like it is. So it looks very unnatural. I'd recommend someone get on that. Yes, for the Super Duke, exactly right. Gamer Wolf sent me some tent objects in DMs. Oh, he made them a year ago. Okay, but let's see if they still hold up. I'm sure they do if he's letting me know they exist. Ooh, yeah, those do look good. Thanks, Gamer Wolf. I will test those out soon. I actually think they might fit the color scheme better. They are a bit more beige, but this is a more beige area overall. So, yeah, pretty cool. We'll get to that soon. What I want to do now is go into environment settings and create a no grass zone. We are not going to be touching any grass in here. Smallest possible radius, and we're just going to make it so the Duke's man cave has no grass around. None to be seen. I don't know the color scheme of the Duke's forces, so I just threw the Knights and Troopers into a paint bucket. Yeah, I know they look good, Iris. I might make some slight adjustments, but they work pretty well. The whole thing of there being a unified color scheme is more prevalent in fantasy. I don't think in real life, like, there were armies with such standardized color schemes and uniforms. Often that was reserved for the upper commanders having more of a uniform, and the nobles. I believe that's how it works. Certainly in medieval times, that's my understanding. Feel free to correct me, of course, if that's an incorrect assessment of the situation. I'm going to bring these stables a little bit closer, I think, to the action here, to the road. The player, by the way, we're going to have him start... The map's going to start with the player kind of arriving with the rest of this caravan at the Duke's camp. Am I the only one who thinks, by the way, that there should be something to, like, break the player's view? Because otherwise you can see, like, right up to the city. I think what I want to do is put a battering ram here, and that'll block the player's view. Yeah. I think we're going to do it that way. So we're going to have, like, a few battering rams on the road. Just, like, we're getting ready to go. Getting ready to storm the city. Yeah, the Duke is going to be prepared for business here. We'll have another one kind of being assembled up against the wall, perhaps. Or no, it would make more sense for it to be assembled up against this wall, because that's where all the wood is being chopped. So, here we go. That looks pretty good. That way the player can't, like, see down to the end of the map right when you spawn in. It does a little bit to break up the sight lines. I'm going to bring a few, actually, into the... Am I? Yeah, I am. I think I am. I'm going to do that. And maybe even that. Let's see how it looks. That last one might be a bridge too far, but it does definitely block the player's sight. What if we do this? This could be the move. I think this is probably going to be the move. We'll do that. We'll kind of spread them out a bit more. Yeah. Okay, cool. So those are the Duke's siege engines getting ready. Is there a trebuchet? Catapult is the word to search. Yeah. There's a dung catapult in Ancient Warfare 3. Are you kidding me? How did I not know that existed? What is it? Bro. Okay. We'll have a variety of catapults ready, standing by, and we'll turn off an interaction with them. Let's see. Where would the catapults actually be set up? I think they'd probably be set up kind of close to the... kind of close to the camp. Or would they be inside the camp? See, okay, let me, if you'll permit a tangent. In the Game of Thrones Season 8 episode, The Long Night, the characters are about to be under siege by the White Walkers, and they set up a row of catapults outside the walls of their fortification, which means the White Walkers instantly overrun the catapults, when you could have just put them in the walls and fired endlessly on the White Walkers. So, very stupid to leave the catapults outside. I think I'm gonna... Like, should I build, like, a raised platform for the catapult? I think if I want to use a catapult, it should be, like, through a raised platform like that. And I think I'll build one. I think I'll build one right around here. Yeah, or maybe... I think here would be the spot, so let's move this a bit this way. What do we have here? Welcome to the stream, Num. Got a million... Exactly. So, Snuffly Pine, just to kind of circle back to... what we were talking about before, yeah. My understanding is it was just like a million levies who had no idea what was going on, who just got kind of pressed into service to fight. And that's going to come into play in the story of this map as well, because the soldiers are like, they're marching against their own people here. These students are part of the same people as the Duke's army. Wood small wall. Yeah, so this is going to be the catapult zone, the artillery area for the Duke. We're going to kind of go like that. And we'll probably bring this out more into the street. Yeah, okay. Alright. This is already taking shape very quickly. Very cool. Let's get some catapults up here. We'll have a regular catapult about here. And actually, we should probably turn this now over to this direction. And this over to this direction. And then we will have... a regular catapult. Let's see. Is it aimed properly? This one is. Do we have to bring this back to do this properly? We can have one regular catapult here, and we can have one dung catapult. Let's do those two things. All right, cool. We're gonna have to move the banners. That's kind of tragic. Unless we extend this out one. I don't really want to extend. Let's do it like this. I'm willing to extend it. No. So we have to make everything... We have to make sure there's a path, right, for the soldiers around the tents. That's as good as that's going to get. Okay. Alright, as far as artillery, I think we're only going to have one catapult. I think he's only going to have one. I don't wanna take out the banners. That's fine. But we will make it a dung catapult. We'll have fun with it. Dung catapult is in. Guys, we need to put the catapults in front of the siege works because we have no idea what we're doing. Right, exactly, Jazz. Hello. Scootal's late, but he's here now. Love to see it. Thanks everyone for tuning in, by the way. If you do want to see more of this series, please do support the channel with a like and a subscription if you haven't. Really do appreciate it. We've gained a few subscribers in recent days. I'm trying to keep that momentum up, so if anyone can do what they can to help with that, I'd certainly appreciate it. But the Duke's camp here has already been much more fleshed out than it was, even at the start of the stream. There's kind of like an empty space behind here. I'm wondering if there should be, like... I don't know what should be back here. I gotta think about that. But this is the storeroom, so let's work on that. Wood wall... We're gonna get this going here. This feels like a tight squeeze to get in there. I feel like that's not very intuitive for the soldiers. So what I'm gonna do is take this, take it out of there, delete this, and we're gonna move the storeroom a bit further away from the palisades of the Duke's fort. That way the troops have a little bit of better path over there. Yeah, let's do something kind of like this, I think. There's a narrow path between the stables and the storeroom. Okay, cool. We don't need that light anymore then. We are going to turn on a day-night cycle, actually. Thinking about the lights here, we are going to have a day-night cycle. We'll put it on 2 minutes for now. Every 2 minutes, the day will change to night. I actually want to like start walking around this world now because it's starting to look pretty cool. We've got the storeroom here, and we're going to have a wood door. Only one way in, and it's going to be heavily guarded. Why don't we get some of Iris's soldiers here as placeholders? Let's start putting a few placeholders in all around, actually. These guys are going to be well defended. You do not want to mess around with the... Actually, we're not going to have like a guy in a helmet guarding it. We're going to have these two guys guarding the storeroom. Guys in the helmets are going to be the front line troops. Yeah, so we're going to have just a guy here, a guy here, and probably a, what is it called, a brazier kind of around. And that's going to go right here. Cool. The brazier is like weirdly bright. I don't know if I like that light. Snuffly Pine asks, could I perchance make a few levies? Absolutely, Snuffly Pine. Go ahead and make some medieval levies. Gotta make them kind of, like, not very well equipped. It would be the idea. Thatched roof. Let's do some thatched roof action here. And, that'll just about do it for the storeroom. And I'm thinking maybe we don't need to go into the detail yet. And the focus for now can be on just getting these buildings down. And we will fill them with characters and actions and events later on. So we've got all the main buildings I had in my outline for the Duke's camp. Oh, actually, no, there is one more thing that I wanted to do, which is there's going to be a crow cage for the enemies of the Duke. That's going to be like planted right in the middle of the action here. Where would be the best place for it? I think we could replace potentially. No, we're not going to replace. We'll get rid of it for now. But what we're going to do is a wood foundation, and you'll see my vision here for the crow cage. The Duke has imprisoned some enemies on his campaign, and they are going to be high in the sky in a prison cell. Let's do one more wood pillar, because we want the prison floor to be 2 levels up. It's going to... Oh, right. 2 levels up. And prison floor. And we're going to do some of that. There we go. It's actually a kind of a big crow cage. We might just need it to be one thing tall. Yeah, it'll just be one. Not a 2x2 crow cage. Okay, prison wall. Here we go. And we'll take this out of here now. Actually, we'll duplicate it. Yeah, this is not the most humane thing, but it was done in medieval times, I believe. This was a form of punishment. Yeah, so we're going to take this, and we're just going to duplicate it over into the middle of the crow cage. It's going to be hanging in the center of the camp. Okay, cool. So we're going to take that, get rid of this. Rather horrifying, isn't it? And, it'll run up through the middle there. And then we're going to get rid of the foundations. And there you go. This is where the Duke's enemies are going to be hidden, hanging out for the duration of the map. And let's place this back down then. I believe we're able to... We can have our cake and eat it too, as regards the crow cage and the siege engine. Look at that. All right, cool stuff, guys. Why don't we just place a few bags around? Are there any good bags? There aren't. How about barrels? I'm going to just do kind of what I did with the environment last time around. This is a tactic that can be replicated however you want. Just some barrels and planks. This is literally all I'm going to do. Take 2 barrels and 2 planks and duplicate that object all around the Duke's base here. Just going to have kind of a veneer of... Make a few more lived in is the goal of these objects. We'll do one here as well. And that's really all I need to do for now with that. Actually, I'd like to see if there's like tree branch. Yeah, tree branches would make for a great object down here on the whole road, actually. Why don't we extend them along the whole road? Just a few tree branches here and there to provide some texture in addition to the color texture. There we go. There we go. Whoa, what are we doing here? You know what? I'm going to leave it. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's probably going to actually be cleared. Yeah, okay. We'll get a little grass, fall dry grass here as well. We'll continue detailing the road. I guess we've turned over to detailing the road. See, this is just what happens sometimes when you're developing an Ancient Warfare 3 map. You go off on these little tangents, and there's nothing you can do but see where the wave takes you. Got some grass on the side of the road, too, perhaps. A little bit there. A little bit there. Look at that. And now, this is already a lot more detailed than it was at the end of our last stream. Comes together kind of quickly when you've gotten started on a map. Ancient Warfare 3. We'll do some of that. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. We have made enormous progress already, and we're still only less than half an hour into the stream. Put barrels and supplies like a small armory. Well, the goal, the Snuffly Pine. So the purpose. This is the storehouse. This is the armory. Okay, so we're gonna be cramming this place with weapons, ammo, and other supplies. It's gonna be part of a quest actually. So you're gonna get the chance to either you're gonna get the chance to steal from the armory. I think is the plan. But yeah, the storehouse is the armory essentially for the Duke's camp. Well, speaking of the Duke's camp, it's done practically. Well, the general outlining of the Duke's camp is done. I think what we're going to do now is move on to let's see, where are some other buildings to assemble? Honestly, there's not that many buildings left to assemble out here. We are going to have to do more detailing. You know what? Let's do it right now. Over here by the wood, we definitely have to add more brown to the ground because there's just going to be brambles everywhere, and it's very well trodden. It's going to do a little bit of that and make a smaller brush here, and we're just going to kind of blend it together like so. And that was actually a pretty quick proposition. Let's add some texturing here. Applying the skills we learned in the last stream. Well, I learned that before the last stream. Applying the skills I demonstrated last stream. We're just going to add a variety of shades of brown. We're also going to brownify this a little bit more. And cool. We are looking really good right now. Let's brownify in here a little bit too. Kind of addicted to turning these ground areas brown, but it's there's a reason for it. These are well-trodden areas. Maybe the edges where there's like a little bit less foot traffic would potentially be still green. We'll leave little bits of green kind of around the edges of the Duke's camp. Yeah, look at that. So now the brown areas kind of feels like one sort of contiguous encampment here, going from in here out onto the road over to the woodcutting area, and then you can take a right over to the pond. And I'll grant you the pond is the most disconnected feeling of the areas, so we do have to... Let's do a little texturing to make that work as well. Scootal, your shorts have been drawing in roughly 1,000 views each. I know, it's pretty awesome, honestly, the whole shorts thing. I'm glad I started doing it. I just looked up and read somewhere that it's a good idea to take some of the best moments from a live stream and post the highlight. Basically post the greatest hits from a live stream as YouTube Shorts. And views up, I've also discovered, views on YouTube Shorts are calculated differently than they are for live streams and regular videos on YouTube. So having 1,000 views doesn't necessarily mean the same thing as 1,000 views on one of my regular videos, but it's still exciting to see. And a few people I think have subscribed after getting introduced to my channel through Shorts. So I'll probably continue doing it. It's pretty easy to find the highlights and repost them. I think it's rather daunting for people to watch an entire 2-hour VOD. So Shorts provide access to some of the key points for a live stream. However, if you're in the live stream now, stay here because certainly a lot, like 99% of this stream will not be turned into YouTube Shorts. Should I make the levees mostly red in coloring? Sure, Snuffly Pine, but not like a neon red, okay? It should be more of a dull red, kind of like what we're seeing here on this tent. Guys, let's put exactly 2 barrels and 2 planks next to each other everywhere to troll the new guy. Exactly, Jacob. They were all saying that to each other. That's true. You know what? I want to see if there's like... Aren't there like dead trees? Yeah. I'm going to do like Halloween trees around here. Oh, in the well-trodden area. Just to see what that looks like. I'll take some of that, and there we go. I don't know why, but it feels like it's more fitting because there's less. It's less green and more brown. It's hard to explain why I think that's a good idea, but I do. I really do. I'm going to take a little bit more of these brambly objects and spam them. Not spam them. Again, do not spam environment objects in Ancient Warfare 3. You have to be very strategic with your placement of them. Boom, boom, boom. Just a few wood pieces over here. And why don't we get some wood planks over by the wood cutting area for good measure. Some planks. And we'll do the classic rubble plank. It's been a mainstay in my... It's been an arrow in my quiver since the Good of the Company paradigm shift. And honestly, before then, I'm going to take these rubble planks and just scatter them around. This would be an appropriate place to have wood rubble, considering it is the main chopping zone. Wow, okay, I'm going at a... just like last stream, actually, I'm going through this faster than I thought I would. This is looking really spectacular, to be honest. Let's see what we actually have left to do. I think we should probably transition now from working on the Duke's camp to actually outlining the interior of the city, because there's not that many more buildings to assemble, right, like the Duke's HQ or the storeroom, but there are a lot of full-size buildings to assemble inside the city, including in the outer district. I have planned a boarding house, and like I think like a tavern, just a place with a basement right here, and a town square. So let's shift gears now into the city and work on assembling some of these buildings. Quickly, we must annoy the Duke by turning our clothes into mirrors. Yes. Open Ancient Warfare 3. Forgot why I opened it. Close it. Remembered why I opened it. Open it again. Classic Jacob. I'm pretty sure I have a lot of medieval buildings saved on my... Yes, I do. Look at this. This is going to be an absolute godsend. Thank you so much to Quaternius. I believe Quaternius modeled these and Desert Mammoth uploaded them, so thanks to Quat and Des, as they say. Everyone calls them that. Because these objects are going to make this city a lot less performance intensive. A simple single placement creates a whole city. Creates a whole town, rather. A whole building. What am I saying? I'm just thinking of municipal words and spouting them out, vomiting them out. No, one click created this whole house. Previously, what I'd have to do is build it up with foundation objects and detail the whole thing. Not anymore. This whole thing is a good-looking city house in a single placement. So I'm loving that. We're just gonna do... I'm just gonna create a whole row of them for now and then add variety later. Just for structure. So we've got that there. The only problem with these houses is you can't go into them. So we are going to have to build... The tavern's going to go around here, I believe. Yeah. And what's on the right side? It was the boarding house. Okay. It's looking like... Okay, medieval house 4. Oh, okay. So we're going to use the smaller medieval houses for this side of the road. Going to leave a little bit of space for the town square area, which is going to have its own thing going on. How about I just duplicate this a few times? We get a good-looking city street coming together very quickly. The boarding house will be right here. Alright, so we've left holes now in the city design for the boarding house. Why don't we put another medieval in? Oh, wow, this is a huge object. Okay, so we're not going to be able to do the medieval in object unless we cram things a little more. You know what? Let's cram things. We're going to do it. Take this... And take this. It's a city, after all. We can and should cram if we can. Take that. How about we go this way? And how about we go like that? Okay, cool. So now we fit in a little bit of object diversity while also leaving room for the basement area here. Let's also do a little cramming on this side. I want to include a variety of objects where possible. So Medieval House 2 is what I'd been spamming. Let's do Medieval House 1 on this side. A couple of them like this. How does this look? This looks like a tightly packed medieval town. So that's what we've been going for. You know what? We're gonna delete this and place it here because I don't want them to be literally touching. But they are both pretty close to the street, exactly as intended. And let's get another one of these guys here. Alright. And we are leaving room, of course, for the boarding house, as previously mentioned. The problem that I think we're going to run into is that Quaternius' style does not match the style of Ancient Warfare 3 modulars. So I'm going to have to do my best to kind of crib his style using the tools available in Ancient Warfare 3, and it's probably going to be kind of a losing battle, to be honest, but we'll see what I can do with it. Don't count old Tommy out here just yet. Oh, we are going to have more houses here because some student soldiers are going to be housed in them. Let's have a house here, a house here, a house here. Okay. And then this whole side is basically going to be houses that we can go inside of. So we're just going to leave a little bit of room for them while putting a second row of housing behind, like so. So we're going to take this, and we're just going to go all along the edge with our houses. Okay, and again, there's going to be like a row of modular houses below, and it's going to be like a second street, almost like an, and it is going to be an alley behind here, which why don't we go ahead and paint that out right now. Make a little tiny brush, and go like that. Look at that, a little alleyway for even more housing in the great city of La Salza. That is the name of the town, La Salza. Obviously very rough again with the actual shape of the roads. We're going to be doing a lot of texturing and smoothing out over the course of creation process. This leaves just enough room for a bunch of little modular huts here, which we'll be making in just a second. Alright, so the city square maybe should be the goal. Oh, no, we're not going to go there just yet. What do we have for messages here? Oh, great, Snuffly Pine is making my legion of soldiers. Perfect! We will have a glorious force for the Duke to command in this map. I'm excited for that. Pretty soon they will have a nice little town for them to invade as well, as we're working on the outline of the town here. I guess we're focused pretty heavily on the outer district of the town. Let's make a no grass area for this road here. No grass, no grass, no touching grass. It is against the rules of La Salza. So we're going to paint the no grass object area around here and along the main road and also along the alleyway. Look at that. La-di-da, ho-hum. We have successfully driven off the grass. There'll be no touching it now. I'd like to create some outlines of wooden huts that the students will be housed in. Okay, cool. We're gonna go like that, and or maybe we could just do cabins. I don't actually think that would work. Never mind. Oh, you know what? You know what? We're gonna do the small stone cabins. Yes, we are. Oh, you better believe we're doing the stone cabins. Yes. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Like this, and like this. And is there room for one more? Not really, but I bet there might be if we squeeze. So we're gonna take this, right, go to that one. Still not room. Wow, okay, cheeky. Fine. You know what? We're gonna get very economical in here. We are getting an extra house. Look at that, guys. Guys, it fit. Look at that. It's like winning Tetris or something. Perfect. Oh, we need variety. We do need variety, though, so at the very least there'll be variety back here with the medieval house objects. Yeah, let's do one of these. And let's do one of these. Alright, just a little bit of variety there is definitely going to go a long way. I wonder if I have like a castle. Unfortunately, not really. The closest thing is this, which is simply not going to cut it. It's this gleaming white and gold building. It looks pretty cool from a oh, whoa, it does look actually really cool from a distance. But I don't think it's the vibe. I mean, you let me know what you think, but I'm pretty sure it's not gonna work for our purposes. Let's get some stone towers in here for the entrance to the inner city. Which I guess we should start thinking about how the inner city is actually gonna look, shouldn't we? Well, we don't have to worry about it just yet, as we're gonna cram a few more cabins around the edge of the town square. I think I want to have like a, there's European plazas are a thing. European plaza. I'm gonna look up a picture to see if I'm crazy. I don't think I am. It's like there's like yeah, okay, so town squares have like I don't even know how to describe it. Eaves like around the edge. They have like a place where with a little bit of shade that runs along the edge of the whole town square, and I want to do that here. Yeah, so we're gonna go like this, and it's just gonna run all along here, except obviously over where it turns into the housing area. So we're gonna just get some stone pillars. Yeah, I think this makes sense, and I think that it's gonna have to connect to like buildings and like places you can enter. So no worries. We can do that. We're just gonna build out this whole area as being enterable. It'll be exciting stuff to do around the plaza. Yeah, this is exactly how to fill up this space, I think. Alright, it's looking great so far. We're gonna take this and look at that! Alright guys, super cool. What if there was like an archway? I don't... Ooh, wait a minute! Wait a minute! Can this be made to work? I don't know if it actually can. Modular ruins archway. This is what we want. Okay. Oh, but it's too dark. We'd have to like make the stone a lot darker. But you know what? I might be willing to do that. I might be willing to do that just so we can have the arches that look actually good. Let's try it. Okay, we're gonna select all the modulars here. There's nothing else modular, so we're just gonna darken the whole thing, and it's gonna fit. Look at that! Look at that! Okay, cool. Coolio. Let's put some of that there and there. Let's do 3 layers of arches for now, and maybe we'll get rid of this 3rd layer if we want. But it's gonna be like this sort of complex you can enter. This is... I'm not sure how we're gonna do it on this side, to be honest. It's possible we'll just have it be on one side of the square. We'll just get rid of this and have buildings along this edge. So what if we have like a stone cabin here? I think that would work just fine as a replacement. So we'll do some of that, and we'll do some of that. This will be like a shop area. Doesn't honestly look that good, so I'm gonna have to think of another way I want to fill that space. But it's at least the space is filled, okay? It doesn't matter if it looks good as long as the space is filled for now, because we have to get like some semblance of a plan for what we want to fill the space with. The place is... I am starting to really like the way this place is looking too. It's definitely pine. Let me take another gander at how these... You know, these are basically just like all arches. When I'm looking at these pictures of the sort of medieval... Yeah, medieval plazas. I think it's like arches all around, and that is fine with me, because it looks very pretty. Okay, so we take that, and it basically extends straight up. Look at this one picture from a website that says Europe's most beautiful squares, and it looks pretty beautiful. I'll give them that. So we'll kind of follow their lead here. Stone floors. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, let's continue the outlining of the whole area. We're gonna make sure that you don't run up against the outer walls when you're inside here. That seems like a logical idea. Some of these, there's like, you know, these types of maps, you gotta be careful. Like, I'm gonna have to do several passes around this map just to look in the nooks and crannies, you know what I mean? These maps have the potential to be rough around the edges. Like right over here. A curious player could just kind of be like walking and walking, and then they end up here, and like, what is this like weird little space? And then they like end up out in the far lands. So all I'm gonna have to do really is add an invisible wall. Why don't I do that right now, just to prevent the player from going to the far lands? Just gonna raise that up there and do that, and we'll add some sort of overturned cart. Yeah, so that there's like a reason They can't access it. A tipped cart. Yeah. Just like that. Okay. And we'll obviously detail it more later. But we're continuing to work on the town square here. We've got stone wall objects. And unfortunately, this part, the town square, is using a lot of modulars. And like I said, I was trying to sort of cheat my way out of using modulars by putting all these houses down. I think... Okay, let's close out of that. What was it again? Search? Yeah, search shows how many objects are in the map. Still, only around 1,000 objects, so pretty good, pretty economical as far as object spend. I'm trying to keep it as low as possible because we are going to have a lot of scripts and units blundering about in this world. So the fewer objects, the better. That's just, you have to be very tight. This applies for any map design. You have to be very tight with objects, especially if you have other systems in play, like cool scripts and stuff. Okay. Well, we have done the whole thing here where we've outlined it. I'm going to place down the roofs. So now we have, like I said, kind of like some eaves where players can stand. And we'll have like maybe like vendors selling their wares out of these eaves. It should look pretty cool. I'm going to go like that. Oh, and you know what? This is going to be a no grass area as well. No grass permitted inside. Just in general, if you're going to have anything take place inside, make sure to cover it in a no grass area because it takes the player out of it when they're like, what the heck? Is this like a sidewalk? The grass can grow up through here? No, no. Grass did not grow up through the floors of medieval castles, as far as I've ever known and seen. But let's build this up even a little bit more. So again, following that image, Europe's most beautiful, what is it called? Squares. It looks like we're going to have to extend this upward a little bit. So we'll do one row of stone walls and window frames. We'll do some window frames. We'll put 3 in between and see how that looks. Okay, it's not going to work. Okay, what if we do it like this? I want 1. I want to space them out evenly. What if we do 2? Like this. Oh, it's an odd number. We're not gonna get it evenly spaced, are we? Okay, that's okay, I guess. It's kind of frustrating actually, but I think what we'll just do instead is that. We'll have a few windows, and they're gonna be 3 and 4. Oh, wait a minute. This looks a lot better. Hang on. Delete, 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 delete. Modular ruins window. That's gonna look quite cool. Unless this one's better. Well, this one actually has bars in it, so we'll take the one with bars. Alright, and then we'll just get modular ruins wall. Yeah, there's walls too. Why didn't I do that from the start? Use the modular ruin walls. Because that's actually fitting the aesthetic. Well, we'll at least do it for the exterior. Take that. And it says modular ruins, of course, but you don't have to follow Quaternius's use case. You can use these however you want. Alright, we're just gonna create a little shell of this. And you know what? Let's do an invisible wall here so the player doesn't get the chance to go around and look at the weirdness going on over there. It's starting to take shape over there. A gigantic invisible wall cutting them off from flanking the city. There we go. The actual usable space on this map has just been greatly increased. Don't feel afraid of doing that. Adding invisible walls to prevent the player from witnessing jank is actually a wise choice. Let's continue shelling, why don't we? Oh, here's an idea. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we are almost done with this outline, I think. There is some weirdness on the inside. You know what? That might be something I do off camera. That might be something I fix off camera. Modular ruin floor. Is there a modular ruins floor? There is. We'll just take some of that. Okay. Cool. It doesn't look that impressive. Is there something I can do to make it look cooler? What about pillars? Can I put pillars here? Oh, that's way too round. Okay. Ruin support. That's still kind of round, but it looks better. I wish that would stick out, but it won't. We'll try the pillars here and see how they look. This has created a large shaded area of the map. I think we need to be aware of that. We need to be aware of light sources. So we've got light sources over in the Duke's camp. I think we now need to get some light sources over in the city. Just going to create a continuous row. And again, the duplicate button is your frenemy here because you can very easily create a nice row of lights. But you can also very easily overuse them. Light objects are some of the most performance-intensive features in Ancient Warfare 3. I'm going to do this, that, and that. And then we're going to do... You know what? I'm actually going to get rid of this one. Now, this is just more of a game design than a performance choice, but by removing the light object here, it's telling the player there's nothing to see down that way. The players obviously will be drawn to light, so we have to be aware of that when designing our maps here. We'll do a very simple... Oh, we can't do a very simple duplication because they're not all the same type of building. So we'll do that instead. We've got lights there and lights there. All right, look at that. And now La Salza is slightly better illuminated. What do we have here? Is there anything useful Quaternius was provided for, like, roofs? I mean, this will work okay to make it look a little bit more visually interesting on top. I think what I'll have to do is add, like, an empty tower or something up here that you can't actually go to, but it just provides more depth and interesting visuals for the player. So this is what I mean. I'm going to take... Oh, I wonder if a curved wall would look good from a distance. I think it might. I'm going to take a curved wall here, curved wall there, curved wall everywhere. Come on. Oh, there you go. Come on. What are we doing? It's a little bit finicky. It's a little bit finicky, but I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it under control. It's like I'm at a rodeo here. Come on. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Focus, focus. Do it. It's not doing what I need it to do. Okay. Come on. Whoa, 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 whoa. What if I do it over here? What if I... Okay, come on. I have no idea, like, what the approach is here. Guys, for once, Tonebinder is at a complete loss when it comes to, like, you know, I'm pretty good at yapping and kind of keeping the rapport going, but I don't know what advice to give you when you get a situation like this. Like, where is the sweet spot to click or anything? Do you think Levy would wear a Popeye's mech chest plate? Just off the sound of that, I'm gonna guess no. Oh, come on. Oh. It's almost there. Please? Yes! Look at that. Look at that. We're gonna have just a little tower here. And you know what? We don't even need to put a roof on it. I don't think we do. We're gonna take this. And, yeah. I think I'm gonna call that pretty good. Just provides a little bit more of an interesting view for the player. Yeah, okay, cool. What next, guys? I think we should add some... What would it be? Cart? Medieval... there was like a medieval, like, stand or something. Yeah, market stand, there we go. I think it would be really cool if people were running their market stands out of this place here. But for now, we'll just have a guy over here. Have a guy over here. Ooh, what's this? What? Why is there like a... Oh, this is like one you stand in front of. That could be cool. We could have like a few over here that they're standing in front of. And it creates like an interesting like wall. I like... Okay. Got some ideas taking shape here. So we've got a wall here where they're standing in front, right? And let's get a few placeholders. I wonder if it'd be fun for you to be able to buy a dog at this market. I'm gonna save a dog here so I can come back to that later. That would be really fun. We've got the vendors people are standing in front of. We've got vendors over here people are standing behind. These people are gonna stand behind vendors right here as well. And then there's gonna be people running them out of the... What am I saying? The eaves. Okay. Medieval market. It's a market. What? Market stand. Here we go. Cool. There's actually only 2 medieval market things. I think we're going to have to go with a tent object for the ones over here, which is totally cool. Tent. we will just get a simple tent right here with people selling their wares out of the tents. All right. And we're going to leave a hole here for people to take the alleyway. Oh, the alleyway should also be illuminated, shouldn't it? Yes, I think it should. So we're just going to do one row of lights. Doesn't have to be a row on the other side. And you know what? We are also going to add an invisible wall here, again, to avoid the player seeing the jank at the end of this alleyway. Pull it down, there we go. Now the player can't see the jank at the end. Actually, you still sort of can, so I'll take action against that. Let's also take some action to keep the player... Let's just extend this out this way. We don't want the player to go behind the houses. Bring this out this way, and there you go. Let's actually raise this up a bit. We don't want one jumping over. Boom! Alright, this is looking great. Let's get some tables under the tents. Medieval table. It's gotta be like a wood table. Yeah. Just like that. There needs to be more light sources over here. Let's illuminate. Let's get some illumination. Do stuff here. Do stuff here. And probably here as well. That's probably all the illumination we're gonna need. We'll have one here too. And that is a really sharp corner. Look at that. Okay, you know what? I think I might have put it off long enough. Let's start to texture the area around this town square. I have not been looking forward to it. Okay, let's lower the speed for one thing. Come on. Okay, actually, this is going to be painless. This is going to be painless. Not too much of it is actually even visible. Like the edge, I mean. And we're just going to take the really sharp corners and kind of sand off the sharp edges. Okay, so we've sanded off... No, we haven't. Never mind. There's still a little more to do. There's a little cheeky corner to do. Oh, and more, and more. Hello, hello. I now understand why I was putting this off. Okay, you're looking for sharp edges. Anyone see a sharp edge? Going once, going twice. They're gone. They're done. We've taken care of them. All right. With that out of the way. Oh, fine. A little more. A little more. Okay. Okay. I think we've sanded off the sharp edges. Let's now start doing some texturing to make it kind of look semi-good. Lower the speed, up the size. Whoa, whoa! That is a drastic change. Let's temper it with a little bit of this. And how about this? Lower the speed. This, again, is not an exact science. This is more of an art form than a science. We're just going to increase the speed some. Why don't we get like a really dark around here? Yeah. Let's make it really dark around the stalls. I think that makes sense. And we'll just have like a really dark kind of middle area. You know what? I think that's pretty good. Oh, you know what I forgot that I wanted to do was put statues on top of this building here. I wonder if this is going to look... See, the problem with these statues is they're just a little bit too smooth. I hate to say it. I feel like the Pike ones would look better for the art style, but these look better for the color. I guess I think it's more important that the color matches. Boy, this is a tough choice. I wish people would make custom model statues that are in Age of Warfare 3's art style, but they are this color. It's kind of a niche request, though. I don't think I'm actually asking someone to go off and do that. Just gonna have some stags looking down on the market square. Looks pretty cool, looks pretty cool. Let's get some foxes as well. Who doesn't love their furried friends in the wilderness? I used to... There used to be a family of foxes that lived near me. During the peak of COVID, I had like a little family of foxes kind of near me, and basically every day I would go and check on them. Like, not go in and like hang out with them, but like observe them, you know what I mean? And sometimes they'd be in a new spot, or they'd be ranging a bit further afield, you know? To be honest, keeping track of those foxes really kind of got me through. It was one of the things that got my mental health through COVID, let me tell you that. You know what would be cool? Pillars up here. Let's get some ruin pillars. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, modular ruin pillars. I'm pretty sure this would look pretty cool. Like behind the pillars, like behind the statues rather, like this. We've basically thrown the art style out the window for this particular area of the map. Thankfully, it's only one of many sections of the map, so let's see how that looks. I think that looks pretty dang cool, actually. I think that looks pretty dang cool, actually. The pillars are an addition, not a detraction. Yeah, cool. You know what I now think? We should have, like, stuff like... We should have banners. Definitely. We need stuff hanging from here. Yeah. The problem is, these stands are using a red color scheme, which I kind of despise. But, oh well. The Duke's colors are red. It would be cool if someone could model a blue version of, like, a stand like this. But even if not, you know, we are all part of the same culture, so I guess red could be, in this map anyway, representative of the Khaenorian culture. And blue can be a city flag. I don't really like this banner feels a bit too modern for what we're going for. We're gonna swap it out for something else. Just this. Whoa. I want the battle banner. I want this. But it's not an option to hang on the walls? That's sad. How about this? I think that's a little bit better. I don't know. It's a very modern... Like the white border feels very modern to me. Doesn't feel fitting. You know? What if the city had red aesthetics as well? I think we might have to go that route. I think we might have to say the Khaenorian people use the color red in this map, at least. Because the Duke is Khaenorian, the city is Khaenorian. We're all Khaenorians. This is a civil war. Yeah. We're just gonna have intermittently hanging red banners. I've created the Count Timbler. What is the Count Timbler? Yeah, hang out with foxes. Yeah, exactly. Right. People still respond to that. I need to do a better job of checking chat as I'm working. It's hard to multitask right now. Like I said, I'm not actually fully settled in, or even fully comfortable, to be honest, in my new dorm here. Like, I'm still only half unpacked. So I'm a little bit off my game today. Maybe. I don't know if you've caught that. If not, forget I said it. You know, it's just normal tone coming at you live. Yeah, it's pretty cool, to be honest, having my little man cave here. I actually bought the first TV I've ever bought in my whole life yesterday. And it took me all night to get it registered to the university Wi-Fi. That was a whole saga, let me tell you. But now it's connected, and I'm watching my show. Yeah, pretty awesome. And I've just got some banners hanging. Yeah, the banners are a must-have. So, and red are the only ones that look good. So we're gonna have to go red and adjust to that rather than vice versa. Why don't we have just a few freestanding banners here too? I think that would look kind of cool. Like, this is really the centerpiece of the town, this square. So we'll have some freestanding banners to show their town pride. What if there's banners lining the streets too? That'd be pretty cool. Banners also can have the secondary function of blocking players from going behind the houses. Yes, they're very prideful of what they have accomplished here. This is a student republic that has been established in this city. It's run by the students. Do it like that. Like that. And here we go. We're going to actually leave this one off. Okay, we still have to do a lot more texturing, to be honest. This is way too much grass for like what you'd expect from a city. So, to be honest, I feel like the whole city should probably be some shade of brown. Although that's not the most exciting. That's probably what is accurate. Watching a bit of, honestly, writing a bit of fanon lore for the Count. He's actually writing some lore for some of the characters he's modeling for this map. Very exciting. Okay, there needs to be a centerpiece here. Should there be gallows? I don't know. Or pyres. I feel like maybe there should be like a raised area with a pyre. And you know what? I also think when the player enters the town, they shouldn't like see that right away. You know what I mean? Like I'm really big on like sight blockers. You know what? I've mentioned this before. You shouldn't let the player see everything at the start. Like you spawn in now and you barely see the city. You have to actually leave the camp, and then the city's right here, and it's a whole thing. So we have to find some way to block the player's sight from seeing down the way to the town square when they initially enter the city. So we have to ponder about that. There should be something like pretty close to the center, pretty close to the entrance. You know what? I'm gonna move all these buildings closer to the street. Take this out. Take this out. Put this here. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. You can't stop me. Gonna do this because everywhere else in the city, the houses are very close to the street, and I think that's best. I'm gonna take this and do that because again, there is a building the player is supposed to enter. It's gonna be right around here. So yeah, we should probably outline those modular buildings the player is supposed to enter, huh? I think we should. Dude, this is gonna look so cool. Oh my gosh, like actually exploring this with all the music and sound effects going is gonna be really awesome, to be honest. Very immersive. We're gonna have like flags just kind of like preventing the player from going back there. Gonna have it like that. And why don't we have like a second, like, I feel like there should be more flags than just that even. Like that. Uh-huh. Yes. More flags. More flags equals more gooder. That's what they say. Oh. What? There's no lights on this side of the street. What the heck? Something's missing. Okay. Let's put these flags back. And let's get lights on this side of the street. Let's do this. This, that. Okay. Now we're going to continue with the double flag strategy. Got some here, got some here. You enter in and you're just bombarded with flags of all fashions. Well, actually not of all fashions. They're flags of the city, because the city is celebrating its independence. So if you don't remember, the story for this map is we are a prince who's been sent by our father, the Duke. This is our camp. We've got an army. We've been sent into this city because university students have taken over. And it's like a medieval university where it's like kind of weird and like crazy and not at all what you think of when you think of a modern university. So it should be exciting. I'm hoping for there to be some kind of like like the students are holding some kind of a debate in the town square while the player enters, and the player will get the chance to pick a side in the debate. That's kind of the idea here. Why don't we actually start setting that up a little bit? I feel like that would be cool. Maybe the debate should be like on a raised platform. That way it's like distinct from the like buy stuff area. Yeah, let's do that. I wonder if there's like a wood like raised platform area like object. Unfortunately, no. Okay, fine. Wood foundation. We'll have it be a little bit raised like this, and basically what would be the best way to go about this? Give some space here. Got some foundation stairs here so you can come up and join the debate. Yeah, it's not going to be a pyre. It's going to be a debate. They're students. They're going to be arguing with each other about something. And what if we have some banners fluttering from the platform as well? Kind of like that. And this honestly feels like I was a bit worried that the city and the camp would feel too similar, but they honestly don't. Like the city feels a lot bigger and like a lot more like a lived-in place. Banner, whereas the camp feels a lot more temporary and muddy and sort of brutish, you know. But I think if I had to choose, I'd probably want to live in the city. Oh yeah, there's gonna be two banners. Yep. Oh yeah, this is gonna look super cool. Okay, some of that, and some over here. There absolutely has to be something in the street blocking you from seeing this right away. Otherwise, the map feels too small. Sight blockers really make a map feel bigger, which is important for the player. Helps them feel immersed, helps them feel like they're exploring a world. But look at this. I am loving this whole thing. Okay. This might be a case where rope is like an appropriate like decorative object. I really can get in the habit of overusing rope, so I have to be careful with when I break it out. But I could see it being like used as like hanging paper on it. You know what I mean? Like the debate information. But I actually don't. You can't actually do that. Never mind. I think we'll just put them on the pillars. We'll be good. No rope has yet been deployed on this map. Kind of impressed with myself, to be honest. We're gonna have like paper here. It's gonna be kind of going up a ways like that. And we're just gonna put paper on probably both sides of all of these pillars. The detailing process tends to be kind of slow in Ancient Warfare 3, but very rewarding. I think you'll agree. I'm having just an utter blast. Actually, I think it'll probably just be on the one side. Yeah, I think it... So this is like almost, if anything, entertainment for the people of the town. Students putting on a debate. Like, all the students, they all think they're really smart. You know, that's the idea. They are these rich kids who've been sent to get their medieval education. They're, you know, sent to learn about the four corners of the flat earth or whatever, and they're going to debate about it up on this stage for the peons' entertainment. That's the idea. Who's still here? I'd like to know what people are working on Ancient Warfare 3 these days. Please do weigh in and let me know. I'm just currently going to add the sort of debate papers on here. But I think this looks pretty cool. I mean, what do you guys think? Kind of like stretching up heavenwards. But I'm just curious what I should put here to block the player's view. That is my biggest question mark at the moment. It's like once you get here, you kind of know what's going on. I'm almost wondering if... I don't know. Should there be like a fire that's like spilled onto the street and people are trying to respond to? Surely that would be crazy. Maybe we could change out the catapult on the Duke's camp to a flame catapult. The dung catapult is funny, right? But wouldn't it be interesting if it was a flame catapult and it crashed into a building here and the building was on fire and like that was what was blocking the player's view initially when they entered the city? I feel like that would be pretty cool. Snuffly Pine, I love this so much. Thanks so much. I am really glad to be an inspiration for you, Snuffly Pine. That's exactly what the purpose of this series is all about. I really love this environment too, to be honest. I think it's taken shape amazingly, and the jank is, you're never really going to be in a position to see the jank when you actually play the map. So I'm gonna do it. You know what? I'm gonna try and do the. Is there like a foundation? We're gonna do like a burned building here. It's gonna be burning out onto the street thanks to a fiery projectile that has been lobbed by the Duke's forces. Okay, so doing some of that, and we're gonna kind of make this a little bit out of whack. Yeah, like that, and like that. What are people saying here? We got Snuffly Pine saying he's working on the levees. Very cool. Scootal's working on a small siege map for the medieval map competition, inspired by Baldur's Gate 3. Can't wait to see it, Scootal. That's going to be awesome. I love Baldur's Gate. By the way, for anyone watching who doesn't know, there is, as of the time of streaming, a medieval map competition running for Ancient Warfare 3. So if you want to make a map and submit it, I'm going to be the judge, so I'll play all the maps and judge them according to criteria that's been established now for years. And there'll be a winner who gets a gift card prize. It's being run by the developer of Ancient Warfare 3, J&I Games. Very generous of him to set it up. I'm really excited to judge it all. I'm hoping to honestly make YouTube videos playing every single submission. I'll also actually probably record a podcast about this whole competition in the next couple of days, because I do want as many people as possible to participate. You know what we're going to do is get some wood foundation in here too. There'll be a mix of stone and wood. Take this. Ooh, I don't know if that looks good, actually. I really don't know. We'll have it be like, this has like collapsed out into the street. And kind of like that. Okay. And we're going to have these flags be actually burning. So I'm going to use the destroyed one here. It's going to be on fire. And we'll have another one. I guess this is the only kind of burned flag object available, which is fine. Alright, we're going to get some plank objects over here now. This is what we're really going to use. This is going to be key to actually extending out this destruction into the street itself. That's the rubble objects and such. People crowding around. Plank rubble here. Okay. And I'm wondering almost if like rock objects would be good. I think there's one very specific stone. Not this one. No. Rock. Yeah, there's some. Wait. Hold on. Jay and I. What's going on here, Jay and I? The snowy rocks are called stones, but all the other kinds of rocks are called rocks. That's funny to me. Obviously, this is a 0 out of 10 game as a result of that. Oh well. Have to uninstall. No, just kidding. These are the stones that have flown loose from the destroyed building, flying out into the street. And as you can see, these look a lot more like bricks, so they work for our purposes. Okay, I think we're good on this count. You know what we could do is have there be like a pile of rocks. Yes, let's do it. Okay, we're gonna raise this up a little bit because there is a pile of debris. No, undo. Oh man, okay, I wish I could undo. Okay, lower this back down. I want to have a pile of wooden rubble that like the fire responders have assembled. You know what I mean? They're cleaning up. So like it's the cleanup pile. And that's going to be partly what blocks the player's view, I think, of everything going on in the town square. We're going to build the pile right here. Let's undo that. Okay, we've got to do this carefully. Probably need to lower the speed. Got the pile coming up here. That's maybe too slow, but we've committed. Gambler's fallacy. We've gone too far now. Raise this up a little bit more. And what we're going to do after raising up this ground is coat it with planks and rocks, because this is the debris pile that the fire responders have built up. Alright. We're not going to update modular buildings. You never click yes to that. I've never seen a situation where I need to click yes to that. Planks. And now, we're just going to cover this with rubble planks. Singular rubble planks, that is. We've got a singular one right here. And we are just going to cover this whole dang place with that type of object. Yes. This is... Honestly, it needs to be smoothed. It needs to be smoothed. How does that look? Any better? Sort of. I don't know. Okay. We're working on it. We're figuring it out. This feels like... This is... Gonna have to go like that. And like... that. Okay, here we go. Just, you gotta be very respectful of the custom object geometry in Ancient Warfare 3. It's sort of got a mind of its own. Yes, the fire responders have piled up all kinds of planks and such over here after dealing with the disaster. Okay. You know what? Let's try this. Let's just try a duplication. And it mostly works. Look at that. Obviously, rough around the edges, so let's address that. Got that. Whoa, that looks really ugly. Okay, hang on. Got this. I bet when players first enter the city, they're going to think this is a pyre and someone's getting burned alive. But no. These students have just set up a brilliant fire response team that have piled the debris appropriately. Look at that. Now, let's view it from ground level. And it blocks the town square. Heck yes! We got Gamer Wolf saying he's trying to finish up some small minor mistakes in testing his map. Yes, you're going to make a new map soon. I'm really excited for that, Gamer Wolf. I don't know if you want me to divulge what I know about it. Jacob is working on Napoleonic stuff, mostly a tutorial for Napoleonic maps, because the main map is done. Ooh, but there's a lot of mechanics. I'm excited to see these custom mechanics you speak of, Jacob. The trait system, which is inspired by Project Zomboid. Wow, this is going to be great. I am hyped. I am more hyped than a hyena. Are hyenas hyped often? I don't actually think they really are. I wonder how that's going to look. I think the fire will be mostly put out by the time the player arrives in the city. And, yeah. Okay, cool. That's gonna be good for the big plank objects. Now it's time to actually assemble, like, the remains of this building with the ruins wall. Kind of a tricky name. Modular ruins wall. We're gonna burn wood wall. And there's a burnt wood wall. This was made for Paradigm Shift. I'm very glad. So like this part will be burnt in the back. And here and here. Some of it will be unburnt. Like that. Most of it will be, in fact, burnt. Plank. Wood floor. Is there a burnt wood floor? No, no one ever made a burnt wood floor for Paradigm Shift. What a tragedy. I have to do that for the sequel. Just a few sad little remains of this once glorious building. And that's probably gonna be good. Oh, we can... Oh my goodness, dude. That's awesome. We can texture the color of the wood. We're gonna make it more burnt. Look at that. Now there's a variety of different shades of... Wow, awesome. And what they've done is piled the unburnt wood off this way. Alright. I'll have smoke rising from here. Let's have better smoke rising from here. There's a lot of smoke objects in Ancient Warfare 3. We'll have some rising from there. And a couple of generic smokes here. Alright, and that's going to be good. Especially with the fog, that's definitely going to block sight of the town square. Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. We have blocked visibility for the town square, which is exactly what I wanted to do. You know what? We are going to swap out the dung catapult for fire. I'm sorry. But dung catapult simply would not do the damage that that is depicted here. Utterly destroyed and burnt as it is. I'm going to outline the building we're supposed to be able to go into. So again, there is a building I want the player to be able to enter in it. It'll teleport them over here, and this over here will represent the basement of that building. Yeah. I wonder if we can thin this a little bit. I bet we can. Just for performance sake. Did a little thinning. Okay, how about we get a wood foundation here? No, we're not gonna do We're not gonna do wood foundation. We have a lot of foundation options. We're gonna be a little bit more interesting today. At the very least, let's do stone. The reason that this is better smoke, Jacob, is because it's going slower. As for why it's sideways, I don't know. But the wind is blowing sideways, clearly. Okay, stone foundations. Let us assemble the... I don't even know what this is, because, like, what was this going to be? This just is labeled basement on my plan. I don't know what kind of building this is going to be yet. I just know I want the player to be able to go into a basement and get teleported out of the main area. I'm gonna have this, and a couple of doors. And otherwise, pretty standard. Just gonna have a stone wall around the edge here. I'm thinking this will be like a like this will be the boarding house. Like what I've done is actually deviated from my original plan. This wreck was going to be a boarding house that the player could sleep in, but obviously that's that's not an option anymore. It's completely ruined. So this will be the boarding house, and the player will be able to teleport perhaps over to a room. That could be the move. Regardless of what exactly it's going to end up being, we have to get rid of grass. It's going to be another no touching grass situation. No grass area now officially enacted. We love to see it. Oh wait, there's a little bit of cheeky grass has survived. Get out of here. Read the room, dude. No grass. Save. And again, never ever update modular whenever you get the chance. Whenever you're asked, you never want to update the modulars. Dude, this is looking so phenomenal. I am so thrilled with it. Okay, wood doors. I think for detailing purposes, I'm going to leave this as it is. I'm not going to go any further with editing this particular building because I don't know what it is yet. I think what I'd like to do now is transition over into a little bit of terrain texturing for the city, and if we get that done in a timely manner, perhaps work a little bit on the interior. Now, not the interior, sorry, the inner district, this mighty stronghold of La Salza where the castle and university are located. But before we can sort of do our dessert, we have to eat our vegetables by editing the terrain and texturing the ground inside the outer district. So we're just going to simply lower the speed a little bit. And honestly, yeah, the city is just about entirely brown inside. I'm pretty sure that makes the most sense, unless somebody has a compelling explanation as to why it should be anything other than brown. I have a feeling most of the grass in the city will have been stomped out of existence long ago by the thousands, perhaps even millions, of people that lived here over the centuries. This is a rather old city in Soul Wars lore. It's been around for ages and ages. I'm gonna take this. I guess there's not really an alley because we're merging it into the background. But no, you know what? We'll darken it a bit. Make it clear that it is, in fact, an alley. And we're going to darken this road as well for the same reason. Well, even though this whole area will be brown, the heavily trodden areas will be darker to show that they are meant to be the roads. Alright. We're just going to do something heavier over here because this is the entrance to the inner district. Honestly, this is not taking much time at all. I bet we'll be able to do a lot of work on the inner district here. Still to come. Get rid of most of the green. I think most of the green has now officially been eradicated. It's been eradicated, guys. Sad to say, this is not an environmentally friendly city. It's just all the green is going away. Look at that. The player probably won't see what I'm doing right now, but just to be safe, there's no reason not to do it. Just a few seconds of extra work to cover your bases. And look at that. That is looking phenomenal. Oh, GamerWolf is having internet problems, so he's unable to upload his current map. That is a shame. Okay, I'm sorry to hear it. I'll be excited to play it on a video whenever it is out. I'm intrigued by what you've told me about it thus far. You also need playtesters, alright. Yeah, hit up Iris for playtesting. I'd like to experience it blind, honestly, once it comes out. I'd like to do my playthrough of it once it comes out. Oh, we've got a lot of stuff from Snuffly Pine. He sent in photos from Timbler's Legion, which are the levies that are going to come with the Duke. Timbler will not be a canon character unless I feel really generous. Those guys look exactly like what I'm hoping for Snuffly Pine. That would be amazing. Got some fan in here for Timbler's Legion. It's a subgroup of the Duke's army. Very cool indeed. And he sent me the prefab with all these units. Okay, we have to check this out. Yesterday. Saving our map here. Wow, look at that. Look at that thumbnail down there. The last time this map was saved was before we built anything in the outer district. Now, once we save it, check out how much we've done. Look at this. The whole outer district is detailed. That is so cool. Well, it's not detailed yet. We don't have the finer details in or characters, but it's looking... This whole map is looking a lot more lived in already. Look at that. And to be honest, guys, this is the product of only about 5 hours of labor. I did about 2.5 hours in the last stream, and it's been about 1.5 hours for this stream, so it's really only 4 to 5 hours work being put into it. Should be an inspiration to you. There's a lot you can get done in a short amount of time for Ancient Warfare 3 if you have a plan like I do. Like I've outlined the map on paint.net, and what else have I done? Oh, created a document with some notes for it as well, explaining the main quests and such. We don't want the Orange Legion, we want Timbler's Legion, which is a part of a playlist entitled Liam, I Love You. Includes levies of the Duke and Count Timbler's Legion. You know, Snuffly Pine, when people say that to me and Liam goes to Popeyes, I fight them. So don't say that. It's weird. Deuce levies. We've got this regular old guy, Levy. Cool. What about this guy? Timbler's Legion. Footman. Oh, okay. So these are the Duke's levies, and then these are the Count Timbler. You know what? You put all this effort in. I will actually include this character in the map. You win, Snuffly Pine. Timbler will be a part of it. I might adjust his name. Maybe Timbler will be like his nickname or something. Because it definitely doesn't fit in with the other names of these characters. These characters have sort of Germanic-esque names. In the lore that this story takes place in, Kanoria, this land, has a German sort of aesthetic to it. I know it's very common in fantasy. It's actually very common in this world, which is why I'm trying to move away from the direct German inspiration as much as possible. Anyway, these guys are looking phenomenal. I'm going to save them right now. Actually, I don't need to save them as their own thing. We're just going to go return to the menu without saving because we have subscribed to the what is it called? You know what? I am making a new prefab because I want to give it my own name. Let's go back in here, get the units again. And we're going to save it as Duke and Timbler units, something like that. Pigeon carding, here is Romer Bomer from Limbo. Welcome to the live stream, man. I am working on creating an RPG in Ancient Warfare 3. It's going to be Duke and Timbler's Legions. These are units here that I'm going to place into the RPG once we get a little bit more of the map design itself done. If you want to see more Ancient Warfare 3, dude, you should check out my channel trailer. It's a trailer for a campaign I made. You can kind of get a sense of what you can do in this game. Ancient Warfare 3, different from Minecraft, but equally full of opportunity for creative expression. Let's see if I can access these guys. Duke and Timbler's Legions. Look at that. Look at that. How very peak they are. These guys are going to fill up, combined with the units Iris made, these guys are going to absolutely fill up the outer camp. Now we're starting to need soldiers from the Student Republic here, so if anyone wants to think about taking that task on, I'd more than appreciate it. Anyway, we have finished designing the outer district. Oh, Iris updated their units with a few randoms. Okay, when I read the chat on my phone, there's a heart button that covers the last word of most chats, so I'll check it out in a second here. It's updated. Okay, let's check that out as well. Why not? And then we'll get into the inner district here. Plenty of time to work on it in the future stream too, so I'm not in any particular rush, but it's kind of crazy that most of the map design itself is done nearing the end of the second stream. Well, I mean, we're not at the end yet. There's still half an hour. But the fact that we're we only have one major area left to do after only about 4 hours of building is a lot quicker than I thought, to be honest. But let's go into the prefab, and how about we check out our subscribed items here. Medieval Soldiers for Tom Binner. I believe I can update this. Oh, it is updating itself. Oh, there's more guys! Oh, yes, indeed. This is going to be great. I wonder if some of these can be for the Student Republic. I think these look more lightly equipped, which is appropriate for the Student Republic. But they could fit well in either camp, to be honest. This is really great. Okay, how about we just say more troops? And I'll get the opportunity probably off camera. Although, I guess in the interest of being as transparent as possible, I should try and do just about everything I can on camera. So, on camera, perhaps once we start placing units down, I'll start sorting these units you've created into factions. So some of them I'll decide will go to the Duke, some of them will go to the Student Republic, etc., etc. Yes, your strongest generic warriors, they're looking great, Iris. Thank you very much for that. I think what I want to do is get rid of these. I think we are going to move now into designing the inner area. Oh, okay, I do actually have this area designed as well. Okay, so you emerge from here into like the university courtyard, which is actually kind of similar to what I had in mind for this area. So I have some experience doing it now. Let's try doing it even a bit better. So we're going to get a stone foundation. Okay, and it's going to go like... Okay, so I want to provide some depth to the courtyard. So we're going to do it like that. And it's gonna be, let's see, it's gonna be 4 deep. Okay. So this is like the courtyard for the university. And it's going to, let's see, university beds, and there's a castle like behind the university. Okay. Okay, so we've got that. We're gonna do this and connect it to a castle like this. Okay. We've got more stuff over here for the university, like student housing, basically, but it's going to be overflowing because students are also going to be living out here with the local population, creating tensions. Okay, now let's start building. So this is going to be like perhaps like a lecture hall area. I'm going to honestly have to look up like the exact layout of a medieval university because I can't claim to know exactly. That was a really interesting lesson in my history class, though, which is like the main reason that I'm exploring this part of the lore. Because I get to look at a medieval university. This is going to lead out into another area, too. So, what does all this mean? This is a large, all of a sudden, modular undertaking here that we're going to have to make to build the inner district, but that's acceptable to me because we've been very sparing with the objects so far. We've only got about 4,100 between objects and environment objects, which is good. Timler could solo the Student Republic, right? I'm sure they. You know what? We should have them. We should create like a champion for the Student Republic and have that there be like a dueling area that maybe Timler can duel with them. I'm writing that down. Dueling area where Timler and Student Champion can test their strength. Because I remember when I did this nation roleplay thing, Thousand Kingdoms, we had a really fun event, which was like the Grand Tourney, where players would send their units from all over the world, and I ran a sort of gladiator pit and scripted the units to duel each other. And something like that in this map would also be super duper fun. It could even be done in the courtyard, to be honest. It seems like a place where people might be practicing their fighting. What else is in here? Oh, a troop garrison attached to the castle. Alright, this will be the garrison. Alright, so we are going to have our work cut out for us to make these areas all feel unique, because as of now it's just a lot of stone. But why don't I start by separating the castle from the university segment. This whole area is the castle. Let me outline it. So this is the castle. All right, everything on this side of the red line is the castle. Everything out here is the university. So that will prove useful for planning purposes. I think we should just, well, let's start by doing the classic no grass area. No snow area, that's new. Okay, we'll have a no grass area. I'm going to make it quite big. It's going to cover almost the entirety of this area, except for the courtyard. I'm going to let the courtyard be grassy. The courtyard will actually be well preserved. It's going to have like trees, like a little, that's my thought anyway. Or if not, what I'll do is carve out an area from the university for like the student philosophical lounging area. We'll have students like pondering a pond and trees while they're studying and writing. Okay, cool. We have now divided this area into the university and the castle sections. Now, the university, my thought is, the university is going to be flatter, perhaps 1 or 2 stories at max, while the castle will be taller. It'll be a citadel that will be tall enough to see from spawn. And let's see how tall it's going to have to be in order to see it from spawn. Pretty tall, I would wager. Let's see how that looks. Can you see that from spawn? You can't. It's going to have to be even a little bit taller. You can almost see it. I bet you can see it now. I bet you can see it now. Go over here. Well, not really. I did too good of a job with the sight block. Oh, no, I bet you'll be able to. Okay. Let's do it like that. And I will be more than happy to shave down the size of this castle if needed. This is going to be one big... Oh, yeah, okay, you can definitely see it from spawn. This is going to be one big challenge to detail effectively and make it look actually good. That's going to be definitely something to tackle more significantly in the next live stream, but we're not ending yet. Arch. Let's get a modular ruins archway and basically do what we did out in the town hall, except now we have the benefit of hindsight, and I know exactly how I want to do that city square thing properly. Got that. And then, yeah, we're going to have a second layer of this. And yeah. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay. All right, perfect. Modular ruins wall. So what I'm just trying to do is be as consistent as I can with the style. So we're going to have this here. And that castle is going to look really imposing, hopefully, when the player first arrives in the inner district area. Yeah, so this whole inner district is like essentially one continuous fortress. It is way bigger than the Duke's fortress. It's a symbiotic relationship between the castle and the university. And this inner is like the heart of the city, and the outer parts of the city service the inner parts of the city, provide it with what it needs to function: food, water, etc. Manpower. We do need a guy pondering the orb in here, you're right. Wonder where we should put that. I'll find a spot. Okay, So we've got modular ruins floor. We've got the start of the courtyard, and that's going to lead into here. How tall should I make this? I am really pleased with this area. I'm excited for this area to get as detailed as this area. I just honestly, something I'm kind of addicted to when I make maps is like zooming out and seeing how it looks from a distance. I just think this looks phenomenal. This area should probably, I'm just gonna bring the forest up a bit closer. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Although they would almost surely, in real life, cut down the forest for visibility. Maybe they have done that. I bet they have. You know what? We're going to litter this with corpses and skeletons right now. We're going to take a break from in here and work on the area outside the walls. It'll be a corpse-littered field. They have cut down the trees around the walls, and they are shooting down anyone who dares approach. Gonna be blood and bones all over the place. Bones as well. And this siege has been going a while, so that's why these have rotted into skeletons. Yeah. Alright, just some of that stuff. And we're gonna want to burn this area too. We're gonna want to burn it a darker color, I think. Burn the ground, that is. Yeah, this is gonna need more work, this sort of field of bodies outside. Let's see how it looks from here, though. It's gotta look good. I think it does. Except maybe at the end. We should cap it with trees at the end. Let's see how that looks. I think that looks better. Okay, I'm gonna have to re-examine that when the time comes. Yeah, they have torched the forest like around here. Let's have some Halloween trees. And maybe some of them will even be smoking as well. Yeah, they have torched the forest around here for visibility's sake. So their archers can get a good shot, essentially, is what that means. And some of these trees will be smoking. We'll have just a bit of generic smoke all around. Alright. And now I think it's time to start texturing and making this a dark gray, like a charred browns and grays are the colors we want to use around here. And increase the size. Like that. Dang, okay. This is, you can tell this city is under siege. Okay. Dang, yeah, but it seems appropriate. It seems like what would actually happen. Got a lot of browns here. We're gonna have some charred grays as well. One thing's for sure, there is no green this close to the city. Okay. I feel like this should be like on almost a black color at the base of these trees. Yeah, definitely the right call. Yeah, look at that, because that way it feels like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. You don't want it to be like the tree. I think it looks like the tree is, I think my theory is this. You should have like a little bit of this here under the tree. Otherwise, it looks like the tree was just haphazardly placed. But it looks much more intentional if it's got a little bit of color underneath it. I think that's why I think that looks good. All right, so we've got the burned trees on the outside of the city. I'm going to put one more smoke object over here. Actually, I think maybe there is one, and it just... Yeah, there is. It just doesn't load from this far away. That's fine. Let's get some more tree branches, again, from the burning. This is something I feel comfortable sort of haphazardly placing around. Players are not going to see it, not going to care that much. Just a little bit of detail. And why don't we get some planks as well? You know what? I think this should be a grass-free area. I think the grass will have burned off as well. I think that makes sense. So we're just going to get a little bit of rubble like that. And we're going to place a no grass area along the outskirts of the city. Like so. Alright. All along here. And all along here. There can be grass in. No grass there either. Alright, now let's see how it looks. It looks grim is how it looks. Yeah, okay. This definitely looks like a city that's under siege. Something I do want to think about is how I want to integrate like the gate mechanics. You know, like actually gaining access to the city. And I think I know what I want to do. Let's see if we can integrate that. I think what I want to do is have some modular walls, and I think they're going to be wood walls, like so. And you talk to the people up here, maybe on the towers, they grant you access, and then the modulars disappear. I think that's the idea. Plus with a sound effect, and we'll have that happen again over in the inner area as well. Integrate that. Should be no problem to script that. That's going to be a very easy script. The gateway. Yeah. This is starting to look sick. Like, I really like this. Okay, let's have some rocks. Let's say that maybe some of the catapult rocks that the Duke has been throwing in have fallen a bit short. So we're going to kind of litter them all around here. It would be really cool if we could, like, place rocks on the walls, or if we could just convey that the walls were damaged in any way. We unfortunately don't seem to have that ability. I would have loved to have had that ability. You know, these walls, let me show you. These walls look a little bit too pristine for being weathered by bombardment for so long. I wonder if you can put arrows on the walls. You can't, sadly. But you know what? We can put arrows all over the ground, and we should. And the arrows are going to come in groups. Just like that. Just like that. Kind of spamming a little bit. Might have to delete some arrows later down the line. We've got arrows here down with the bodies. And I think the next step is going to be we want some blood. Alright, that's enough arrows. Let's do the blood. Better blood? Do I believe that's better blood? I do, actually. No, I don't. Let's get rid of it. This, also not better blood. No. I want like a big blood. Yeah, like let's just do the classic. Yep, just like that. We're gonna spread this all around. In some cases, group them together. Don't want to make them look too duplicated, so we have to kind of do some of that. And that should just about do it for the blood, I think. You don't have to have a lot of it. Yeah. Alright, cool. You know what? Should we have some, like, spike barricades? I think we should. I think we should have, like, spike barricades, like, along the base of the walls to further discourage. I think this is what defenders would do, is they would want to discourage people from climbing. Yeah. So we're going to go along the base here and add some... You know, trying to think about this logically, too. Not just from a visual perspective, but also from a logical perspective. Like, what would defenders do in this situation? And oftentimes, the correct logical decision is also the correct visual decision, because I think you'll agree, adding these out around the base of the city looks really cool. So I'm glad I thought of that. What do we got going on here? There's levels to this stuff, says Grunt Incorporated. It's true. There are levels to map design in Ancient Warfare 3. Once you get a hang of it, it can be super duper rewarding. All right, I'm gonna copy this. Let's finish up with these barricades here. No scaling the walls permitted. The Student Republic is not that stupid. They're students for a reason. They have a bit of brightness in them. All right, look at that. Very cool. We have got the barricades fully assembled outside the city. And I wonder if maybe a few more wouldn't go amiss either. Just a few on the roads to kind of ward off cavalry attack. Sure. I think that's pretty good. I think that is a pretty good multi-layered defense we've got going on there. Maybe we should have, like... so I guess we're saying the defenders, they set fire to the trees. They didn't cut them down, so we don't need to have, like, piles of logs around here necessarily. Maybe they, cut down some logs and then haul them inside. I kind of like that idea. Let's just assume there's, like, a pile of logs here that the defenders are using for whatever sort of construction they need. Perhaps they'll use some for rebuilding that ruined building. There'll be logs that they've pulled inside from the forest beyond. And there'll just be some guards in here kind of overseeing the distribution of this wood. Should be a good amount of it. Considering how big the city is, they've probably harvested a great deal. We'll have some barrels around here as well. Yeah, look at that. Got the wood harvesting operation. Cool, okay, so yeah, they're going to be using these for repairs, including repairs of this building, and if they have to repair the barricades, perhaps. I am really excited to start putting, like, city guards and stuff on these walls. I mean, it's not really a complete defense unless there's, like, archers who are standing at the ready to fire down upon the impudent Duke and his attackers. But yeah, this is really cool. This is shaping up really cool. I know I'm kind of a broken record when I say this, but I've never really attempted anything like this in Ancient Warfare 3, and so far it's been going very satisfyingly. Put a sign that says not to climb the walls. I think the Duke would understand. I think this is a pretty good sign all on its own. You know, I should replace these blue banners with the red ones, shouldn't I? Red banner. Oh, I'll just search banner. That would be the better way to go about it. Banner, where are you? Oh, we have to do this kind. No problem. No problem. Here and here. Alright, perfect. Is it possible to cover these? No, it's not. That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Oh well, okay, it's fine. You know what I should do? Something that I haven't done yet, that every map maker should, is select literally everything. Delete some settings, and set destruction to off. That way the player can't accidentally break parts of the map. If there are parts of the map you want the player to be able to break, then you should set them to destruction on. Like if I wanted to let the player chop through the gate, I would enable destruction for the gate. But I don't want the player to be able to chop through the gate. I want them to have to go through an RPG story process to gain access here. They're going to have to talk to the guards up on the towers before they're allowed access into the grand stronghold of La Salza. Okay, I think I'm going to... this is really intimidating. This, like, gigantic outline of the castle. I'm going to bring this down again, I think. Because I think what I want to do is create, like, towers at each corner of the castle. And I don't want there to be a big box. There's too many maps in Ancient Warfare 3 where, like, the main attraction is a big box. And it looks really not that great. So I'm trying to model the kind of map that I would like to play, which is one where there aren't any really easy shapes. You know what I mean? This map should hopefully feel more lived in, more realistically, architecturally sound. So, but this does mean we have to go through the process, the laborious process. Oh, such a difficult life I lead. Laborious process of deleting these modulars, when I could have just done an undo button after placing them. Yeah, I think I want to restart this process with by having just the tallest part be just on the end, and we can do something like this, like that, and like that. This is looking like the design of an old Motte and Bailey castle. I remember that from reading a book about castles when I was like a little kid. That Motte and Bailey castles were the tall ones. Is that true? Either way, it's one of the tall ones. I know some castles were tall, so someone who's more informed on this topic, let me know what kind of castle is the quote-unquote tall one, and I'd appreciate it. Already looks better. Okay, we're gonna bring up the walls here, down to this. We're gonna go one lower, at least for now. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, so it's gonna be 2 below like that, 2 below like that, and of course we have to make room for the hallways. Just doing some outlining now. And we've got the shape of the La Salza Citadel well planned now. Amazing. What if I close off the towers here? And here as whoa! And here as well. And we're just about done with the outline then of the La Salza Citadel. Come on up. And come on up. Awesome. Alright, I guess I'll do a little bit more work on the top here. We'll have 2 deep. Ooh, you know what'd be cool? Let's see what it looks. This is a great view. Yeah, I want to let the player come up here. Yeah, you know what? Someone really needs to model a forest background object, like yesterday, because that way the forest could extend infinitely out into the map, just like the hills can. It's really jarring for the forest to just end at the end of the map. This should be a forest background object. I strongly request that from anyone in the Tomebinder community who's capable of modeling in that way. I think it would be a service to a great many people, not just me. Okay, let's get some roofs on top of these towers. Roof truss. No, not gonna be any trusses. No, thank you. I'm guessing this will just be a simple, either a wood or a stone roof. I think for fun, we're gonna go with wood. I think we are. All right. Gonna have pointy wood towers at every corner of the citadel, and I think I'd feel pretty safe living down in the lower district if I had this gigantic thing watching over me every day, waking up in its shadow. This city used to be governed by a noble family, but the students took over, and now the students reside in the castle. And they declared it a student republic. And so we have been sent, the story of this map is we've been sent to subdue the student republic by whatever means are necessary. Stone, small wall. How do we get that? Or what if we just do small wall? Because I think there's several type. No, there's not. What? Let's search wall. Branch wall? Excuse me? That's cool. Okay, I might have to use that. What if we just do stone, small wall? Motte and Bailey is a fort with the castle being on a hill. Okay. Well, I was just a little kid when I read that book. But I do remember really liking the design of the one that was, like, really tall. You know what? I see an opportunity here. I see a golden opportunity for you'll see. This is really not necessary, but it's gonna look cool, I think. What is it called? What is it called? What is it called? Oh, wait, what if we do it this way? What if we get a wooden roof, a wooden angled roof, and just go like that? No, it should be a 45 degree if we're gonna do it that way. How does that look, I wonder? I think that looks really cool. I think we have to do it that way. And you know what? It could even be... Whoa! It could even be, like, covering down like that. That's weird. I mean, that's strategic, but it looks kind of weird, so we're not going to do it. We're just going to add this other 45-degree angled roof here. Scootow says, might be able to do something when it comes to the forest background object. That would be amazing. That would really improve not only the look of this map, but I'm sure plenty of other maps in time. In time, people will adapt it to their purposes. Yeah, that's gonna make for quite a cool. This is gonna make for quite a cool castle, I think. It's crazy. Like I started working on this inner district, and I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm gonna be able to make this look cool. It's too much space. Like I often preach about like not biting off more than you can chew in Ancient Warfare 3, and so I was a bit nervous about maybe potentially doing that. But I'm thinking and hoping now that we've got a good start on this castle that it's actually gonna be all looking good, and there's not gonna be any empty space, and I've made all the right choices design-wise. Fingers crossed. Yeah, the train car roof. No thanks, Jacob. We're gonna opt out of that one for this particular map. I hope you'll accept that choice. Yes, the evil nerd students, exactly. Who likes students? Not me. I say, from my college dorm. But guys, I think that we're going to wrap this stream up here. I did say we'll go until about 3 p.m. Eastern, and the time has come. I did need to do a little bit more moving into my college dorm. I'm super thrilled with how much progress we made today. We filled out the entire Duke's Castle, we filled out the entire outer district of La Salza, and we started work on the inner university/castle district of the city too. I am really excited to build up this university and build up this castle, and that'll probably take up most of next stream. But once that's done, we'll be able to start doing some scripting, character design, placing characters down, quests, play tests, and start really getting into the RPG mechanics, the meat and potatoes of this map's gameplay. So far, we've mostly done design. Pretty soon, we'll be able to shift gears into gameplay. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you'd like to support this live series, to be honest, this has got to be one of my favorites I've ever done. Please do leave a like and subscribe. It really does support this cute, tiny little indie channel. I appreciate it so much. Also, if you have any suggestions for the map, leave a comment. I do love reading and replying to them. But that's it, folks. I'll see you in the next stream. This time next weekend, Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, we'll be having the next episode of this series. Mark your calendars. Pretty proud of myself for being able to announce that. Normally, at the end of these streams, I'm like, I don't know when we're doing it next. But today, I can tell you with confidence, the next episode will be next Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, so mark your calendars. I'll also announce it in Discord, of course. Alright, guys, no more beating around the bush. We're done here. I'll see you in a video tomorrow, and I'll see you in a stream.